Hey guys, so it is finally time to talk about Once Upon a Time again. It's finally back, and so much happened last night, so let's get right to it. There was a lot of little kind of like hints and tidbits that were dropped in this episode, so I'm gonna try to hit as many of them as I can. Did everybody see the hidden Mickey at the beginning of the episode? First of all, I'm gonna go ahead and admit that I completely and totally missed it, but my sister caught it, and so we rewound it and stopped it, and it was really cool. Hidden Mickeys! I don't know if that's the first time that's happened, or maybe it's just the first time that I'm recognizing that happened, but I thought it was super cool. Now, before the new episode aired, they actually showed a special that was kind of like a recap. I love when they do those. It kind of recaps not only this season so far, but the entire series, really. And they said a couple of things that I thought were really, really interesting. First of all, that their goal for this season was to make it feel like two separate seasons. So I think the second half of the season that we're getting ready to head into is going to have a complete and totally different feel to it, and I'm really excited about that. They also mentioned that a lot of the show was going to focus on figuring out what home means. And you totally get that, right? Because you've got these characters, some of them that have been bouncing back and forth between Storybrooke and the Enchanted Forest. So speaking of those characters, right, we get to see what happens in that moment when all of our characters from Storybrooke get thrown back into the Enchanted Forest. Right off the bat, their goal is to get back to the castle and to kind of just reclaim their kingdom. And I absolutely love the fact that Regina is included in that. There were several points, right, when both she and Mary Margaret kept talking about the castle as our castle. Let's go get our castle. And I love it. I love that unity. And being that there's a new witch in town, I'm guessing that unity is probably going to be a good thing. There was this fantastic scene between Mary Margaret and Regina. You guys, I am so excited to kind of see their relationship progress and like to see the two of them really kind of just come together. But yeah, there was a scene between the two of them where Snow actually finds Regina burying her heart. And you get that she just doesn't want to feel anymore. You know, she's so crushed that she had to leave Henry behind. And so she's taken her heart out and she wants to bury it. Now we know that this is something that her mother did. And so we don't want to follow after that. Snow does manage to convince her to take her heart back, you know, and tells her like, you know, do the thing that Henry would have wanted you to do, which is to find happiness. And Snow also really kind of brings to light the fact that her and Regina have quite a lot in common. They both have managed to leave their children in other worlds. Now, I think one person I was so excited to see in the Enchanted Forest was freaking Robin Hood, you guys, especially because we got to see him and Regina kind of come face to face for the first time. I can already sense the snarky banter between the two of them, and it is going to be epic and awesome. Now, once they get back to the Enchanted Forest, Hook actually decides to leave because there's nothing for him there. Of course, he means Emma's not there. And so, as far as my little Captain Swan shipper heart is concerned, I think Hook leaves to go find Emma immediately. He does drop this little tidbit before he leaves, you know, something that Regina said to him about the curse, that when they all got sent back to the Enchanted Forest, all of their belongings will get sent back as well, and so he goes off to look for his ship. Neil overhears this though, right? So there's this little tidbit that gets dropped that it's possible that Neil and Belle know a way to bring Mr. Gold back. So I'm not sure if that's going to be happening, you guys, but I mean, it definitely sounds like it's a possibility. The new big bad that's in the Enchanted Forest, of course, is the Wicked Witch of the West. I mean, I have been anticipating that for weeks and weeks and weeks. I mean, especially once they started showing all of the previews. Wicked is coming. I must say that I'm going to be really excited to see her and Regina go head to head. It's obvious that they have a past and that she's there to kind of enact some sort of revenge plan. So I guess we'll see how that goes. So let's talk about Emma and Henry. They're living the life off in New York City together, oblivious to everything else because of course they don't remember anything, when all of a sudden who should show up but Captain Hook. Now, True Love's kiss does not bring Emma's memory back, but Hook keeps pressing her and telling her, you know, you feel like things are off here, you know, go to this address and you'll find out the truth. He keeps telling her that her family's in trouble, and so she finally gives in. She goes to this address, which turns out to be Neil's apartment, and there she finds this camera. She ends up eventually getting the film and this camera developed, and she finds all of these pictures, of course, of herself and of them on this trip when they came to New York with Mr. Gold. Hook has got this little blue vial, right, that he wants her to drink. He tells her if she drinks it, she'll understand. You get that her memory's gonna come back if she drinks it. Now, you gotta give it to Emma, right? Because if some crazy man dressed like a pirate came up to you in the middle of New York City and told you to drink something, if you drink it, you'd be a dummy. But eventually, I think she she starts to realize that her senses are telling her that something's off. And then the weird pictures and the weird stuff that she finds in Neil's apartment kind of sent her over the edge. And so she finally drinks this little blue vial that Hook gives her, and she gets her memories back. Now, I must say, I was excited that Emma got her memory back, but I was expecting that to take a little longer than it did. Like, I wasn't expecting that to happen in the very first episode back. So Emma gets all of her memories back. Hook tells her that everyone's in trouble, they need her, and so Emma's got to figure out what to do with her life. Now, in this fake life that Emma had in New York City, she is dating this guy named Walsh, who is at the point where he's asking Emma to marry him. But after she takes the vial, she realizes that, she's got to go back to help her family. And so she tries to break it off with him. Turns out that he's a flying monkey, which, that's not so good. Hook basically tells Emma that there's a new curse, that everyone's been sent back to Storybrooke, and that they need her. They need her to come to kind of break the spell of whatever is happening there. So she packs Henry up, who of course is oblivious, who doesn't realize what's going on. She packs him up. They get in the car and they go back to Storybrooke. I think it's a really cool twist with Henry, right? Because you get that Emma remembers, but he doesn't. And so she's going to take him back to Storybrooke, which means that really their roles are going to be reversed, right? Because remember, season 1 was a lot about Henry convincing Emma about what was really going on in Storybrooke. And now the opposite is going to be true. I loved that moment too, like right before they left, where you see her go to her closet and get her leather jacket and put it on. And you get that Emma's back and we are going home, basically. So they get back to Storybrooke, and I wasn't quite sure what to expect. Emma immediately goes to see her parents. She knocks on the door. David answers the door, and there's this moment where you're like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna remember her? And he does remember her, right? So it turns out that none of them remember anything that has happened to them this year. So he tells her the last thing they really remember is leaving her at the town line. They don't remember anything that happened to them after they went back to the Enchanted Forest. And then Mary Margaret comes running down the stairs, gives Emma a hug, the camera pans down, and we realize that she is pregnant. So I guess we do know at least one thing that happened when we were in the Enchanted Forest. So basically they know that time has passed, they just have no memory of what has happened to them. I was excited to see everybody back in Storybrooke. I wasn't expecting that at all, you guys. Like, I was expecting to spend some quality time in the Enchanted Forest, and part of me is a little disappointed that we didn't get to see more of them there. I have a feeling that obviously as they try to piece together what happened to them over the last year, we're going to be definitely seeing some flashbacks. But yeah, I must say, after the finale, I was expecting that we had said goodbye to Storybrooke for good, but I guess that is not the case. It was a really good episode, you guys, and I am so excited that this show is back. I really cannot wait to see what is in store for us for the rest of the season. Can't wait to hear what you guys thought about this episode. Make sure you tell me about that down in the comment section below, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.